Okay, so we're talking about gospel presentations. One of the things that obviously brings up is doubters, people who need the gospel or who have rejected the faith as it's been presented to them, or maybe they've rejected the faith for real. And you've got a song about this. It's called Shadowlands. It's another sort of Lewis word that I guess he derives from Plato, one of his intellectual idols. Mm-hmm. So what's Shadowlands a reference to? What does that mean?
Yeah, Shadowlands is just what I mean by that, to borrow Lewis's, or to borrow a phrase that's so famously linked with Lewis, who was himself a doubter, is what I mean by that is just living in a time of mystery, which none of us can get out of. And so I'm kind of wondering in that song, what do we do with the mystery, and what do we do when some of our fellow journeyers do different things than us with the mystery? I have just a tremendous amount of compassion for people who are trying to grapple with mystery. I probably have a very limited amount of compassion, to a sinful degree, to people who don't want to struggle at all. So by that, and this is an important distinction, because I'm not talking in the song about people who were, I don't know how to say it, like in some sense fundamentalists beforehand, and they're as Christians, and now they're fundamentalists after the fact because they know for a fact that Christianity is not true, and that. So to me, there are other psychological issues going on there, right? But for the folks who are really asking hard questions, I think that that makes sense to me. It really does. And I wish someone had quoted Frederick Buechner's little adage years ago to me. I would have avoided many hours of angst and confusion in my faith, because Buechner said, doubt is the ants in the pants of faith. I wish I could have thought humorously about the times that I've wondered and questioned. So I'm kind of trying to come at the whole deconstruction thing from a compassionate perspective. I wish my friends would come back to church, basically.
You have these evocative phrases in there. One is that you're looking for truth in the ruins of my Notre Dame. Obviously, kind of a salient recent reference to the fire that partially burned down Notre Dame Cathedral. And I understand it's making good progress in the sort of rebuild at this point. But that's this iconic Christian building. It's a place where beauty has been so concentrated and so admired for so long. And then to see it burn down is not just an architectural and cultural tragedy, but an apt symbol for someone's faith falling apart or burning down. So that's a really great one. But I'm really curious about this making friends with doubt phrase. What does that mean?
Yeah, that is definitely the position of someone like a Frederick Buechner, author and pastor. He and I wouldn't agree on everything theologically. I don't agree with anybody probably 100% theologically, but I think he has so much to contribute. He's just one of my favorite writers, and he would definitely want us to make friends with our doubt and let doubt be the shadow side of faith, in a sense, which would be actually like a Jungian kind of perspective on faith. Yeah, and I would say, I don't want to overstate it, maybe the one dance move, the one counseling strategy, the one thing I can count on always working in a session, or even as a pastor, or even in my own heart, is to take the thing that I feel like running from and to turn around and face it and talk to it and get to know it, and in some sense befriend it. That seems like a no-lose scenario. It's not easy. It's scary. It creates change often that you may not have predicted, but it just seems like a no-lose. But it's the last thing we want to do, is make friends with the thing that scares us so much. And Yeah, so that's kind of what I meant. I was listening to a good, solid Carl Jung audiobook at the time of writing this, and I was thinking a lot about Lewis, and I was thinking a lot about Buechner, and my friends who are deconstructing. I want to say to them, hey, this is a part of your journey. It doesn't have to be the whole thing. I recently heard one. Who was that? Oh, I wish I could give you a name. I recently heard one Christian psychotherapist person describe what happens when the parts of us take over, when one individual part takes over, instead of the whole that Jesus is making new. And he said something like, that's the sin. That's the sin. If there is a sin in each of our parts doing weird things with our personality, it's when one tries to take power over all the others. So, yeah, if you're going to let doubt be the whole thing, I would say you're probably in trouble. But if you let it just sit there and have some tea with it, take it out to Starbucks and take it to a movie and read some books with it. And yeah, now we're getting even weirder into counseling world, so I'll stop there. But that's the idea.
Well,
by the way, I wish that the never deconstructionists would do that with the deconstructionists. I wish they would take them to Starbucks, take them to coffee, and don't say anything. Just listen and let them be. Let them stay in the community, even as they say, I don't believe any of this. I know you don't, and that's okay right now. But would you keep coming? Like, would you hang with me? Because in my mind, Jesus is here whether you believe he's here or not. So I actually think that he might keep working on you. And anyways, it's really fun to get time with you on these Sundays that you're in church or whatever it is. Like, so would you just keep coming, But I think instead we're like, what? You said what? You believe what? I don't know if that's, well, I know that's relationally not healthy at all.